my choice, what effect is it going to have on others? And when you go through those questions and you answer those, look at your answers and just sit with those for a while. Welcome to Get Your Rear in Gear with Lori. I'm your host, Lori McAfee. And today we're going to continue our talk on choices. And you may be thinking, Lori, why? Because we've just talked about this last week. Well, I know, but there's so much to choices. And so I want to help you because life is a twisting journey of choices. And the choices that we make, it truly shapes how we walk this journey and the destination that we reach. So understanding the power of choice is crucial whenever we're navigating life and to navigate it more effectively. As a life coach, an author, and a speaker, I've seen countless individuals that have been confronted with a crossroads, and some is, to some it's success, and to some it's a lesson that has been learned. And so in making these choices, I want to help shine a light on what sometimes is a really dark path of making a choice and to help you become more aware and more confident in this process. And as I said last week, we're faced daily with a multitude of choices, small and big, and then some mundane and some monumental. Either way, they shape our life. And recognizing their power and the responsibility of choice, it begins to it's the beginning and begins to create the person that we were really created to be and to live a life that is more fulfilling. When I made a choice to pursue life coaching, I had so many people say, "Why, Lori? You're 50. You don't have to do this." And I didn't, and I don't. I was very complacent in the life that I lived, which was working with my husband side by side at the dental office. But it wasn't what I was called to do. It wasn't where I was in the season of my life. And so I made a choice, and I could have stayed the same life that I was living, but it wouldn't align with my value and it wouldn't align with who God was calling me to be. And so I made a choice to get my life coaching degree, to pursue a speaking career, and to pursue writing books. And so that has put me on a totally different path, and that aligns with who I am. And now I'm walking more into the person that God created me to be, and to my power as a disciple for Him. There's a lot of things that you can do whenever you're looking at these choices and these decisions and you don't know what to do. You don't know how to even begin. Start asking some questions like, does this align with my values and my goals? What are the consequences of these choices that I'm going to make? What's the long-term consequences and what's the short-term consequences? Am I making this decision out of fear or out of a true desire? Is this an impulse decision or is this an informed decision? And if it's an informed decision, then do I have enough information that I know and I understand the decision that I'm making, the choice that I'm making? And lastly, my choice, what effect is it going to have on others? And when you go through those questions and you answer those, look at your answers and just sit with those for a while. And then, there's kind of a strategy that you can follow, which would be that you reflect on your values. Align your choices with your core values, with who you are at the core. And hey, if you're not sure of your core values, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help you discover your core values. Something else is to gather information. Don't make a rush decision. Research and understand the implications of these choices. One of my husband's go-tos is before he makes a major purchase, he thinks about it for 2 weeks. And he doesn't like call, if it's say if it's a vehicle, he won't call a dealership and say, hey, I'm thinking about buying this, hold it for 2 weeks. No, if what he wants to buy is not there at the end of the 2 weeks, then it wasn't meant for him to buy it. Consider pros and cons, weigh out both sides of this situation. Ask, talk to somebody, seek advice of someone who is going to give you, who's going to be honest with you, someone that you can trust, and someone who really will tell you the truth. And embrace the uncertainty of it, because in some decisions there is uncertainty that goes along with it. And all of these strategies that I'm talking about in making these choices, those are things that you would use most of the time for a larger decision. All of these, as a matter of fact, would be for more of a bigger decision, a monumental type decision. Mundane decisions we almost don't even think about whenever we make those choices. But once you go through these strategies and you've asked yourself these questions and you've kind of evaluated the situation, how do you live out these choices? You have to commit to it. Once you decide, wholeheartedly, be fully committed. And as I say all the time, all your life you've had a choice, and remember the day that you decided. And that means that you're 100% fully committed to the choice that you make. There's no turning back on it. Be flexible with it. Be open to, learn whatever's coming from your choice. And in my journey of getting me to the life coaching and speaking and author, there have been times that I've had to embrace some really hard things that have gone along with the process of my journey and my becoming the person that I was created to be. And I've had to learn to be flexible in that. And I've had to learn to sit with that a lot of times. And I don't fear messing up. I heard someone say one time in one of my coaching classes to fail forward. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But the more I thought about that, it made a whole lot of sense to me that whenever we make these choices, if we fail, and y'all, we're going to fail, to fail forward, because just don't let it stop you. Just keep going and keep going and keep going. And, remember, there's value in all these lessons that you have, and an obstacle is an opportunity. And then sometimes it's going to cause us to have to evaluate and maybe readjust. As long as my core values aren't being compromised, I'm okay with being flexible and readjusting and reassessing the situation. I'm totally okay with that, because that also helps us to be more resilient when these choices do come and when hard times come and all different kinds of things. Our life, it is like a canvas of a painting, and you choose the colors that go on that. And it's understanding that each one of these significant decisions are part of that color. And you question yourself, be wise, seek wisdom in decision and discernment and decision making and choice making. Be thoughtful, and then live them out boldly, y'all. Be fearlessly in pursuit of these decisions and these choices and the person that you were created to be. And this is going to help to this twisting journey that I talked about in the beginning. It's going to help us on that walk to a more fulfilling and a more successful life. And I don't necessarily mean a monetarily successful life, but on the edge of these choices, it's not always just making the right decision, but it's about making the decision that's going to be most beneficial and best for you. But also the decision that you make that is best for you, make sure that that does align with with Scripture and with the calling that God has placed on your life. If my values are compromised, then it's not aligning with God. And these decisions that we make, they carry so much weight in who we become and being the person that God created us to be. And so as we come to an end of this episode, I want you to reflect on a choice that you've made recently. How did it align with your values? What did you learn from it? And find someone that you can share that experience with. And, if any of this resonates with you, or if any of this is really like, I don't know what to do, I'm stuck. If you're at that crossroad, feel free to reach out to me. I will be more than happy to help you through this crossroad and through this journey and help you to shape the way that you walk out your journey and the destination that you reach. So thank you for joining me today on Get Your Rear in Gear with Lori. Always remember, you always have a choice. Remember the day that you decided. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, and I hope that you have been able to take something away from it, but if you've enjoyed this, please share it with someone else and subscribe to this, to Get Your Rear in Gear with Lori. And please, it would be so nice, and I would love it so much if you would leave me a 5-star rating. And stay tuned for next time as we talk about more choices. Until then, keep moving forward to be the person that God created you to be.